Christ in me sees the Christ in you. Everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. To know love is to be loved, and I know love will stay alive. If the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. If my friend feels sad or broken, every time that my heart opens, love makes its way into the world. When the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, everyone's a chosen one, the many and the few. All together now it takes two. The Christ in me and the Christ in you. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things through Christ who is my strength. I can do all things. Sees the Christ who is my strength. I can do all things. Sees the Christ who is my strength.
Namaste, and welcome to the Life Enrichment Center. We are live streaming from beautiful Flint Township, and it's a beautiful Father's Day morning here, and we have beautiful Father's Day flowers, courtesy of our Peace Garden and the creativity of Jim Gould. So, yeah, they're just beautiful. And again, if you want to come by sometime and there's not a crowd in the garden, come and sit and be peaceful in our Peace Garden. There's not a more peaceful place on the planet. So come in, and you're always welcome. Okay, well, we'll start today with an opening, centering prayer. So if you would, just close your eyes and just become aware of your breathing. And if it's a little fast, just slow it down so that you're breathing deep and easy, like baby. Because as we breathe in this way, we let our body and our emotions know that everything is okay, that we are loved and cared for, And as we slow down our breathing, our thoughts naturally begin to slow down, and the focus becomes our breath. And as it does, we become more and more aware of the power of this moment. For it is in this moment that our life is happening, in this moment where all life is happening, in this moment where we are thinking and feeling and being. And so there is power in this moment, and so I invite us all to just take a moment and to be still and become aware of what it is we are desiring in this very moment. What is our prayer? What is it we want? For it is in this holy moment that our desires and our prayers are answered, that we ask and it is given. And let us join together in a collective prayer for our planet, for every living being on our planet. Let us know that wherever healing is being called for, that it is being answered right now. Within the physical body, within the emotions. There's clarity and peace in every mind. For it is out of clarity and peace that good decisions are made. And so in this powerful, unified awareness of answered prayer, of well-being, of all good, of joy and happiness and love everywhere, we are so grateful to know that it's all good. And that good is responding to our openness to receive it. And we do here and now. And so our prayer is answered as we receive it. And we do. With open hearts and open minds. And so it is. Amen. All right, well, we have our opening affirmative statement, and I'd like to invite you to repeat after me. I know that I am.
I know that I am.
I experience me as the one I believe myself to be. I see the world as I declare it to be. I am the joy, peace, love, and harmony of the world I desire to see. That's great. Okay, well, we have a few announcements this morning, as you know. If you've been following along, our June focus is on the power of declaration, and CDs of today's talk, I Am an Original, will be available upon request for $3 or as a free podcast on our website, lecflint.com, tomorrow. Now, the majority of our LEC Steering Committee has agreed to reopen LEC for in-sanctuary Sunday services beginning Sunday, July 12th, which is a week after the 4th of July weekend, with these two provisos. With social distancing required and the wearing of masks optional. It's a spiritual decision we've come to that we believe will benefit all of us at LEC. It's a decision you are invited to make individually so that you feel comfortable and in alignment with your own inner guidance, with your own inner being. We can use this worldly situation and all of the details about it to feel the joy and freedom of following our own individual spiritual guidance, to become more aware of how it feels to follow it, to become more aware that it's even there for us to follow. Everything that occurs is a beautiful opportunity for us to grow deeper in our understanding of our power and of who we are and our freedom of choice. We wanted to let you know as soon as possible so that you can begin considering what you'd like to personally do in the near future. We'll continue to live stream, and along with the benefits of growing LEC through live streaming, it will give you or allow you to return at your own pace. And whatever you decide won't be judged or questioned. Okay. Onward. If you'd like to join us at noon on Zoom for Beyond the Words Wednesdays, for a centering meditation and conversation that is intended to take my Sunday's talk deeper into our own personal and individual spiritual practice. So if you want to join us, as always, let Jim Gould know, and just email him at all lowercase j.r.Gould123@gmail.com, and he'll send you what you need to join us at noon on Wednesday. Okay. Now, if you're new to our live streaming this morning, you may hear some things you haven't heard before. You may so resonate with what you hear that you can't wait to come here in person too. But in the meantime, please know what we all are coming to know, that we are so loved by the universe and so supported in our joy, our peace, our happiness, and our well-being. Okay, that's it. All right, well, before I get started on my talk, we're going to hear again from Gary Lynn Floyd, and the song is Unbound.
Open your mind, unfold your heart, relax your senses, You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Breathe every breath. Release your cringe. Love without waiting, without waiting. Slowly unhinge. You ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. You can stop waiting for love to find you. Look inside your heart. Love's already who you are. Already who you are. So lift up your voice. Lift it up now, now. Let it be heard. Let it be heard. And tell me your story. Tell it to me. And don't leave out a word. Not a word, no. 'Cause I think I have been there too. I'm a seeker just like you. And you ain't got a thing to fear. Looks like love is growing here. So take your guard and let it down. Go deeper still until you come unwound. Unbound. Lay it down, lay it down, lay it down, down, down. Unbound. Lay it on down, down, down. Lay it on down. Unbound. Yeah, yeah. Unbound. Oh. Unbound. Open your mind. Unfold your heart.
All right, my talk begins. Today's talk, I Am an Original, is in honor of our earthly fathers, without whom, at least in part, we wouldn't be so physically original. And it's in recognition of the true source of our life and our true identity as sons and daughters of God. Science of Mind tells us that God is not external. God is at the center of our very life. We could say that in that way we all share the same divine DNA. But as we talked about last Sunday, we are each a unique expression of the universe, a unique variation of creation, an original expression of divinity rooted in that which is identical, love. The way of the heart tells us for you are love. God creates only that which is like unto himself, and God is only love. Now, in this world, sometimes it is difficult for us to see that love is in every aspect of our vast diversity. That the same life is right there. Sometimes it's not easy to recognize with the vivid contrast of individual expressions in thoughts and words and actions, that within every living being there is the same life. The life that originated and continues to exist and would not exist without love. The spiritual teacher Mooji said, if you could look inside the heart of any and every single human being, you would fall in love with them completely. If you see the inside as it really is and not as your mind projects it to be, you would be so purely in love with the whole thing. The more we know who we're looking at, beyond appearances, the more we're aware of what we're looking for, beyond the obvious. Then whether we are looking in the mirror or we are looking at a world that seems to be filled with others, the Christ in us will show to us the Christ in every aspect of life. And we will be so in love with the whole thing. Now, sometimes we think, and we might even say out loud in so many words, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, but not in you, and especially not in you. And if you want me to see the Christ in you, then this is what you got to do. But the way of the heart tells us, for Christ is the sons and daughters of God. The offspring of God is God's only creation. Your Creator's only creation is you, the truth of you. We could say paradoxically that each of us is an only child with infinite brothers and sisters. Think about it. When we feel free to be the original we are in the one creation, we feel free to allow everyone else to be the original they are in the one creation without needing them to conform to our way of being. The Christ, God's only creation, can't see anyone who isn't related to itself by holy birth. And since God creates only that which is like himself, and God is only love, the Christ sees only what can be seen through the eyes of love. The poet Rumi said, the one I love is everywhere. When we're not seeing what the Christ in us is seeing, it doesn't feel good within us because we're pinching ourselves off from the very love that would shine its healing light through us and change the way we see. That is what is meant by the first line of the A Course in Miracles passage that we explored on the first Sunday of this month. I am responsible for what I see. It's powerful, not passive, to take a stand for love and to look at this world through eyes of love no matter what is happening. When we feel the love that lives in us, when we feel the love that causes us to live, we're able to get our opinions out of the way and to live harmoniously with others, because we're able to see the inside as it really is and not as our mind projects it to be. And then we are able to say in truth, with heart-filled conviction, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, no matter what you do. In this way, we become part of the solution instead of an additional part of the problem. There's power in our declarations, power that can change the world. And so it seems a good idea for our understanding of that power for us to explore that full passage once more from A Course in Miracles. It says, I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feelings I experience, and I decide upon the goal I would achieve. And everything that seems to happen to me, I ask for and receive as I have asked. It's a statement that perfectly reflects the power of declaration, our authority to choose a thing, to declare a thing, and have it established for us. It's a powerful affirmation of our pure, creative, spiritual, vibrational nature and purpose. It's a reminder of our ability to make a conscious choice as to what we want to see in life, what we want to focus on as present, and our freedom to take responsibility for what we believe is there and true, above and beneath and within and beyond the physical appearances of anything in any moment. It's a confirmation of our capacity to choose how we want to feel, the emotional energy that we want to come alive in us. And through those two powerful choices, through the power of those two choices, I am responsible for what I see. I choose the feeling I would experience. We achieve our goal to love or not in any moment. Everything that seems to happen to us happens through us, and it unfolds for us as we've asked through our choices. It seems such a wonderful, free way to live, to know that we can create the life that we want to live in this world. But because that quote, and so many like it, are mistaken for words of shame and blame, that misunderstanding causes us to feel bad about ourselves, like a spiritual screw-up that isn't worthy to be called a son or daughter of God. And when we're feeling unworthy, bad about ourselves, sometimes we use the concept of personal responsibility as a means of making others feel bad about themselves too. Not always intentionally. When I was a little girl, I was a climber. I used to climb up high fences and up the trees and up on top of the roof of our garage. And when I fell and ran crying to my mom, she said, "You know, you brought that on yourself." And after a while, I stopped climbing up on anything high. Even standing on the edge of something high made me nervous. Because if I was someone who would call falling to myself, I couldn't take any chances. When you are responsible is heard without spiritual understanding and said with words that do not flow on the currents of love, they can be harmful. In fact, a friend shared with me just last week that when a loved one of hers developed cancer a few years ago, someone said to her loved one, "You know, you brought all of this on yourself." The words didn't convey the speaker's recognition that we are all powerful creators of our own experience. Instead, they reflected the foolish assumption that anyone would intentionally, deliberately, and willingly call to themselves pain and suffering. Now, though we may all experience health challenges or body pain, sometimes, or anger and conflict in relationships, occasionally, or confusion or lack of peace in our mind, every once in a while, and financial problems that seem to come and then go. None of it is the result of our asking for something bad to come our way. In our hearts and in our prayers, we always ask for something good, and something good is always given to us in the moment we ask. When something occurs in our life that appears to be something we don't want, it can serve us in getting clear about what it is we do want. And it's good to be clear. It's good to know what we would rather create in our life and to discover our power to create it. But once we get clear, once we know what it is we do want, in order for it to take form and expression in our life, we need to stop staring at what we don't want. Abraham Hicks said, "When you're able to separate how you feel from what's happening, you will have mastered the art of deliberate creation." We can only create from that which belongs to us, and there is nothing in this world that we can claim as ours except our thoughts and our feelings. We can choose to live our life in joyous expectation that all that we want is coming to us. We can live in that joyous expectation and anticipation. But if we believe that what seems to happen to us happens to us from a power that is outside and separate from us, rather than through us from the power that is within us, then we won't see what we want when it arrives, because we won't be looking for it. In the book of Mark, we read, "Therefore I say to you, everything you pray and ask for and believe you are receiving, it shall be given to you. You shall have it." We can only stand in joyously answered prayer when we believe our prayers have been answered. The key to receiving our good is to look away from what we don't want and look to what we do want. Jesus said, "Turn the other cheek. Look this way. Here it is. Lift up your eyes. The fields are already ripe for the harvest. It's here. It's now." Where our mental energy goes, so our life experience flows. Rumi wrote, "Set your sights on a place higher than your eyes can see." We're the only one who can see what we see. I mean, we can describe what we see, but no one will ever see anything quite the way we do. And no one will truly feel our pain or our happiness quite the way we do. That's what makes us unique and original and important to the universe. The universe doesn't repeat itself. It extends and expands itself. And we're part of that original expression that continues to uniquely express. Only we are responsible for what we see and how we feel. And by deliberately directing our thoughts, we have the power to control how we feel and positively affect the things that come into our life experience. Just us. But we gotta stick with our mental focus and not get all wobbly in our thinking because others doubt that we can have what we want. We need to decide to walk through our day, seeing and feeling what the Christ in us is revealing to us, and there's something good in every moment. So on this Father's Day, as we remember our beautiful earthly fathers who were willing to navigate in the uncharted territories of raising us, let us also remember our Divine Father and claim our relationship with one another as brothers and sisters in Christ. Then we'll be purely in love with the whole thing. I mean, sure, we don't look alike on the outside, and that's good news because we'd get so bored. But the holy blood within us flows with the same love. The very same love. A Course of Love tells us the Christ in you is the real you. No one expresses the Christ quite like you do, or I do, or anyone else does. But we must believe that's true before we are able to say, with our heart open wide, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. Well, I got through it all. Okay. It's just such a beautiful thing. I feel so grateful to be able to stand up here on Sundays and say these words that, man, they just feel so good coming up and coming out. And it is my hope that somewhere within all of that, something felt good to you too. All right. Well, this is the moment, and I'm already doing it, where we express our gratitude for everything, for the Life Enrichment Center, for our opportunity to be together live streaming, for our new opportunity to be together in the sanctuary soon, for us to be in a place where we understand that each of us has inner guidance. We never ask anyone to follow anything we have to say unless it feels like the truth within them. Because that truth will lead us where we want to go. It will always lead us to the wanted. And so we feel gratitude here that we're able to share this morning. And I know you're feeling gratitude too. If you've taken the time on this Father's Day to sit in front of your computer or look at your phone and be here live, or if you take time later to see a replay, we know you feel grateful for the message. You feel grateful for the truth that is spoken here and won't waver here. Not for anything in this outer world. So we want to thank you for your support. We're doing good. And if you haven't already, we invite you to contribute. You can contribute through Facebook, Life Enrichment Center, and just hit the contribute button. You can, or the donate button. You can contribute through our website. When you go to watch the replay or read a synopsis of today's talk, hit the contribute button. It's right there. And that's lecflint.com. We know you know about PayPal. We know you know about checks. And we know you know about texting because it's right here. So get it here any way you can so that you can get here and be here, and we can be here when you get here. So you know how that goes. So thank you for your love, your support. We're going to go into our wonderful song, Grateful, by Animo Patel and Daniel Namad.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
All
is a
that
gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learn every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
All that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan. But there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.
And we do recognize that everything is a blessing. Life itself is a blessing. And we are grateful for it all, for everything that appears to be what we don't want, so that we can learn and grow and discover all that we do want. We are so grateful for everything that's going on in the world because we understand that we can choose. the experience we want. That we can listen to our inner being that knows what we want and is right there with it. And all we need to do, and we do that now, is turn within and say, yes, I am open. I am receiving that good. And thank you for it all. Thank you for all that I see that is beautiful in this world. Thank you for every moment that you show me the magnificence of creation within myself and within all life. We are so grateful this morning to be alive, to be celebrating Father's Day, to be celebrating our own existence, to just be in this day and to have this day to be. And we say thank you, thank you, thank you for it all. And feeling that high vibration of joyous appreciation, let us say our statement of abundance together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Amen. All right. Well, we have a closing affirmation, and it goes like this. The Christ in me sees the Christ in you, and I am purely in love with the whole thing. Ready? The Christ in me sees the Christ in you, and I am purely in love with the whole thing. Again, the Christ in me sees the Christ in you, and I am purely in love with the whole thing. One more time, at least for now. The Christ in me sees the Christ in you, and I am purely in love with the whole thing. Yeah. Well, we're in love with the whole thing. We're in love with everyone here. We're in love with all of you there. We're in love with everyone we can't see, but we feel their presence. It's just beautiful, this love we share, this love fest that is life itself. So we're going to sign out with a peace song. Invite you to join us. If you want to stand up and dance and celebrate this day with peace.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin